to all amateur radio operators. This is the weekly net of the M17 Project. I'm Ed, November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta, and I will be your net control station today. This net meets weekly on Fridays at 1700 hours UTC by means of the M17 Charlie Reflector. The purpose of this net is to relay and share information in regards to the M17 project. M17 is a new digital radio protocol in development as an alternative to those currently available, with freedom in mind. Freedom in the code, protocol, voice codecs, and hardware. The goal is to provide a better option for digital radios in the future. We encourage all amateur radio operators to check into this net. We will take check-ins, followed by an informal roundtable to discuss all things M17 related. When checking into this net, please pause approximately 2 seconds before giving me your call sign using proper ITU phonetics, followed by your name and location, and if you have any information for the net. Also, please try and keep your transmissions to under 3 minutes. I will now stand by for regular net check-ins.
Hi, Ed. Hi, guys. This is Wojciech, Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa, transmitting from Warsaw, as usual, using DroidStar, and I might have some traffic for today. Back to net.
M7 Tango Oscar Mike. My name is Tom. Tango Oscar Mike. I have no traffic for the net today.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Alpha Whiskey Victor, KC1AWV, Steve in Boston. No traffic for the net.
Whiskey 5, November Yankee Victor, Michelle in San Diego, with traffic.
This is Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Quebec Kilo, Rob in Long Island, New York. No traffic.
India Uniform 2, Kilo Whiskey Oscar, Silvano from Milan, Italy. Little to no traffic.
This is Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima. Dave in Newport in South Wales in the UK, with some traffic.
This is K9FH, K19 Foxtrot Hotel, Phil, near Chicago. Traffic coming in on a few minutes ago, the 17 TGIF link on DMR.
This is Kilo 5, Tango Uniform X-Ray, Russ in Mount Vernon, Missouri, using the Linux version of DudeStar. No traffic for the net today. And I'm in Mount Vernon, Missouri.
This is Maitland, Alpha 4, Hotel Sierra. I'm near Central City, Iowa this time, and I have no traffic for the net.
Okay, guys and gals, let's stop right there. Net Control wishes to recognize Wojciech, SP5WWP. He's the evil mastermind behind M17. Tom, welcome back. N7TAE, Steve KC1AWV. You're so cute when you say you don't have any traffic for the net. Michelle with traffic W5NYV. Rob KD2UQK from Long Island. Welcome back, Rob. Silvano IU2KIN with a little bit of traffic. Dave from South Wales, welcome back again this week. GW8 Sierra Zulu Lima. Phil K9FH. Russ K5TUX from Linux in the Ham Shack. He's one of the co-hosts. Thanks for joining us again. And Maitland A4HS. Welcome this week. Anybody else wishing to check in with or without traffic, please call Net Control. Okay, hearing nothing. Let's go over to Poland. SP5 Whiskey Papa. Over to you, buddy.
Thanks, Ed. This is Wojciech, Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa. I don't have much traffic for today. The beacon in Warsaw is operational, so it can be received in about 120 kilometers radius, and I have tested that because I was going on a business trip the other day, and I was passing Łódź city, and that's about 120 kilometers away, and I was able to receive the signal using a Baofeng UV82, which is a great achievement. I was on a highway in a car, so not very high above the ground. So I was able to just hear the buzz. So that's great. And that's probably all that I have to say. We also had to change the frequency of the beacon because we were interfering with the local, not so local, repeater, which is analog, and it's located in Łódź city, the one that I was passing by. So we have changed it, and it looks like we are just, there is no interference with anyone, so everyone's happy. And we also had some reports on the signal, one from a colleague, a friend of mine, which lives in the same city, so not very far from the repeater, the beacon. So he received the signal around 2 weeks ago, and I believe there is a recording available to listen to on Discord. And some other guy, a local ham, he lives about 40 kilometers from me, from the beacon site, was also able to decode the signal just fine. And his call sign is Sierra Papa 5 Lima Oscar Tango. So if he's listening, then hello and thanks. That's about it. So back to Net Control. This was Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa.
Thank you for the M17 updates from Poland. We appreciate it. And looking to hear more progress as the repeater build gets moving along there some more. Okay, we're going to turn it over to Michelle, W5NYV, the CEO and co-founder of the Open Research Institute, who's one of the financial sponsors of the M17 project. Michelle, it's all yours.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm the CEO of ORI, fiscal sponsor of M17. I'm speaking to you today from DudeStar, but we have a repeater builder that is up and running and working thanks to VK3JED and KB5MU for helping getting that working. This is up and running for M17 development in San Diego. Our hope is to get a couple of repeaters going on the air here to support the same sorts of efforts that WAJ is doing so heroically in Poland. Coming up is Ham Expo in mid-August, and M17 will be represented there with at least one workshop and lots of content. There is at least 2 presentations on M17 to show the public about the amazing protocol and radio development. So we're progressing pretty well here, both in the lab and with outreach. The third part of what we've been up to is to start looking at manufacturing radios or to make it possible for user equipment, things that people can pick up off the shelf. We fully support firmware development and reverse engineering of different radios and making radios possible to work on M17, like the MD380. That's the one that we probably have the most experience with here. So ORI is very excited to keep pushing forward on all fronts. If there's anything that we're missing that we can promote or help support, then please get in touch with me either on M17 Discord or directly through ORI. Back to Ned.
Thank you very much, Michelle, for the updates. We definitely appreciate the support, and congratulations for getting that repeater builder MMDVM board working. Looking forward to hearing you on the air with that in the coming days. This is N2XDD. I'm your net controller for this week's session of the M17 Project Weekly Net. Before we go any further, is there anybody else wishing to check in, or anybody with any questions or comments in regards to the transmission from W5NYV? Please call net control now.
India Uniform 2 Kilo India November, operator Nicolò from Milan, Italy, little bit of traffic.
Okay, Silvano. Yeah, we got you before. We recognized you. We will now turn it over to you. U2KIN, part of our Open RTX project team. Back over to you. Let me know what's going on this week.
Yeah, so I just joined the net, so don't know if Silvano already spoke, already gave update, but I will give you some of the updates, then Silvano might integrate with if I'm missing something. So basically the works for making M17 work on the MD380 and MDUV380 are proceeding, and the good part of it is that we have been able to receive the frames, the M17 frames transmitted from an MD380 and received using the RTL SDR, so using Rob's modulator code, and the call sign is correctly reported. But the audio is still garbled, is still not working, and we started investigating on that and realized that there are at least 2 problems. The first one is that codec 2, which is the vocoder used by M17, although it's perfectly working when run on Linux, when we run it on the STM32, it returns a faulty output. So basically, we try to encode the silence, and on Linux we get something that when decoded with codec 2 is again silence, while on the radio we get something that
it's still constant, but it is not silent. So we are getting in touch with the Codec 2 development community to get some help on that front, since they built that code. And so on one side we have to fix Codec 2 on the MD380, and on the other side we realized that even if we try to transmit just zeros instead of the Codec 2 frame, we don't get zeros at the output. So there is a buffer overflow in our code, most likely, which is corrupting the output buffer of Codec 2. So we have to fix these two bugs, and after that we should have a reliable M17 transmission, and we can switch to RX. Back to you, and to XDD.
Thank you, Nico. My apologies, Silvano. I heard the IU2K call sign, and I messed up and I confused Nico and Silvano together. So Silvano, you checked in earlier. Nico also with traffic. Silvano, I apologize for not giving it to you first. I will pass it over to you now. I don't know if you have anything in addition or different that you'd like to share with us this week. Again, my apologies. This is N2XDD. IU2KWO to get it.
Okay, thanks, Ed. What to say? Just a little integration to what Nicolo said. Little integration is that we are actually, our debugging process, we are fighting against some, so to say, strange bugs in our code base, which cause the firmware to crash unexpectedly, and we are a bit like fighting against our own firmware and the bootloader to get good debugging information about what's going on. And the presence of this bug is effectively slowing down a bit the development of M17, since we are sometimes not able to print the complete content of the frames on the virtual COM port, which is something which helps us a lot to determine if we have corruption in transmission, encoding, creation of the frame, and so on. But anyway, I think we will go around some of these issues by crafting a patched bootloader for the MD380. This is because the original bootloader of the MD380 is disabling the SWD interface, which is fundamental for debugging and access to the CPU registers. This said, I think that I have no more updates. Just a little note about my idea of installing a M17 beacon in Italy. At the moment is a bit stopped because I still have to fight against my GM 900 because I'm having issues in programming it. I think that, yeah, this is everything from OpenRTX, I think. Back to net control.
Okay, thank you both, Silvano and Nicolo, for the updates this week on the OpenRTX project. And your progress so far with the work on the 380s. Does anybody have any questions or comments in regards to the traffic from our OpenRTX team? Please call net control now. Okay, this is N2XDD, Net Control Station. Do we have anybody wishing to check into this week's session of the M17 Project Net? Or anybody with any questions and comments before we go down the list? Please call Net Control now. Okay, moving over to South Wales. Dave, GW8, Sierra Zulu Lima. I think you said you had a little traffic for us this week. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Dave, Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima, 12 miles northeast of the capital city of Cardiff, here in South Wales in the UK. Yeah, I got a couple of questions. And, well, I've been so inspired by the M17 project, I intend to pop up a reflector. And I'm just looking at GitHub and November 7 Tango Alpha Echo and Mike Romeo Echo Foxtrot Delta. And on there it says a clean install of a Debian-based OS. Would you recommend Stretch or Buster? And my next question is regarding USRP to M17 Bridge. Now, would you actually recommend co-hosting that Allstar Bridge on the same server as MREFD, or have them on separate systems? Sorry about the newbie type questions, but I'm here to learn there. Back to you there from Golf Whiskey 8 Sierra Zulu Lima.
Yeah, no need to apologize. That's what we're here for. Spread the word of M17. KC1AWV, do you want to take half or both parts of that question? Steve?
Well, I can go ahead and answer both parts of that question. I do know that Tom is on the net today as well, so he can probably clarify anything else that I might overlook or convolute as I normally do. But as far as MRFD, it'll work on either, actually it'll run on pretty much anything that runs Linux. We've had people running them on Raspberry Pis, we've had people running them on, just computers at home, and we have them even, actually I have them running in, co-located servers in data centers, so as long as it's running Linux, the distribution is not really a concern. You can pretty much run it on Ubuntu, Debian, CentOS, Fedora, Red Hat. I run it on Arch, so it's a matter of personal preference. Just making sure that the build tools that you're going to be using are up to date, and you have all the dependencies installed. That should be perfectly fine. As far as the ASL link, so it's a bit beta, the components are there, and it does run. As a matter of fact, it's running right now. If you're on Echolink or Allstar, you're coming through my basically analog to digital bridge. So all the pieces are there, but because it's not considered final, unforeseen consequences could happen. But it's perfectly fine to run both a Reflector and ASL on the same server. As a matter of fact, you probably would, notice that it runs a little bit better because there won't be any latency going from analog to digital, over the network. You're just pushing it through a port and a socket on a machine by itself. So, yeah, you could run both on the same one. I run them separate only because I just happen to have one separate for each. I've got the resources available to do that, but it's perfectly fine to run both on one server. So I hope that answers the questions, and I'll pass it back to Net Control. This is KC1AWV.
Thank you, Steve. Tom, N7TAE, was there anything that you would like to add to that?
N17TAE. No, I think Steve answered it pretty well. I tend to use the latest Debian-based operating systems. My go-to system is Ubuntu because I think it's a good mix of the latest stuff available in the various repos, but still quite stable. But that's just my personal opinion. I know many of you have other favorite operating systems, but I tend to gravitate towards the latest Debian-based systems. Back to Net Control, N7TAE.
Okay, Tom, thank you for that. Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima. Did that answer your questions, or do you have any follow-ups? Please go now.
Yep, this is Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima. Yeah, thank you very much, Steve, and thank you very much, Tom, for the information there. I'm going to pop it on Buster and have a play. And I got to admit, the caveat emptor on the USRP to M17 bridge, where it says, if your system catches on fire, call the fire department. That really did make me laugh. And have we got any more further queries? I'll be here next week. So no doubt there could be a possible couple of questions as well. So without further ado, and thank you for taking the time to answer the questions there. And I think I've taken up too much of your time as it is. So I'll pass it back to Net Control. And thank you very much once again. This is Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima. Oh, and by the way, I'll be putting it in the cloud, and I'll try running them both on the same server. Take it away, Ed.
Okay, Dave, thank you again for checking in and your participation and asking the question. We appreciate it. If you haven't already checked us out on our IRC or Matrix or Discord server, please do so. You can find the links on M17Project.org, but there's usually somebody from the project pretty much around 23 hours a day, I would say. So come on down and check us out. Once again, this is November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta Net Control Station for the M17 Project Weekly Net. Do we have anybody else with any questions, comments, or any lead check-ins? Please call now. KC1AWV, did you have anything else you wanted to add to this week's traffic?
Well, let's see. I want to take a nap, and my sandwich today actually came with meatballs and Parmesan cheese this time. So my meatball parm sub actually did come as advertised. Other than that, no, I pretty much have nothing for the net other than, I'm continuing to work on the new version of the M17 central site. I put a kind of a sneak peek into the chat this morning. I'm just doing the formatting for a lot of the things, and it's just a matter of playing around with the logic on the inside of the server to provide the features that people are expecting. If anybody has any ideas for what you would like to see in a M17 centralized, kind of like a one-stop shop for M17, let me know. I'll take all ideas into consideration because right now, once you log into the site, it's pretty bare. So right now, there's only 2 buttons, one to view reflectors and one to create a reflector. So there's a bunch of things I'd like to add in as well. So any feature requests or anything, just go ahead and send them over to me. You can email contact@m17.link. That's our support email address, and if you're in the chat, just go ahead and ping me there, and let me know what you come up with for an idea. So with that, I'll go ahead and pass it back to Ed. This is KC1AWV.
All right, Steve. Thank you very much. That was KC1AWV. We found out that he enjoys naps, and sometimes he gets his sandwiches delivered as advertised. Steve's our system administrator / web development guy, and also the all-around jack of all trades for the M17 project. So, anybody else with any questions, comments, or late check-ins? Come now. Okay, hearing nothing. I guess we're going to close this one up this week. I want to thank all the stations that checked in today for participating and supporting the net. Your help in maintaining this net is appreciated by one and all. This is Ed, November 2, X-ray Delta Delta. The net is now secured at 17:32 hours UTC.